Hello and welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for July 21st, 2018. Today on the show we're talking about James Gunn, The Clone Wars, Nathan Drake, Rugrats, and a little bit of Warcraft talk. Stay tuned for all that and more on the Barrel Roll Newscast.
What?
Hello everybody and welcome to the
Grandma's gone?
Newscast for July 21st,
21st, 2018.
2018. That's where the... Thanks. I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
I'm Brian.
We also have a new... So I also figured this out with the new camera rig. We can't really hit the table anymore because it now affects the
We
camera.
cause our own earthquakes.
Yeah, we cause our own earthquakes.
Oh, smash!
Either way, we have a new little camera rig going on.
Yeah,
we also have a new camera. So I have to... If the wall looks a little funny...
It doesn't.
No, it's good right now. But if things
oh.
look a little funny... Hi. We're still refiguring out cameras and this and that and everything. So we got some new equipment thanks to Amazon Prime Day.
Yay.
Either way, welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast, where we talk about news for games and movies and other nerd stuff that happened on the last week.
Yes.
Even though you guys haven't been here in a while.
A month. We've been keeping up to.
You guys have been keeping, but not that we'll talk about a lot of that stuff. The big news this week was supposed to be Comic-Con.
Well, it technically kind of happened at Comic-Con.
Sort of. He was supposed to have he was actually supposed to have a panel in Hall H, which is their big hall at Comic-Con, and he subsequently said he was not going to show up.
Yeah.
But either way, James Gunn has been fired by Disney.
Yes.
So he will no longer be directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He is no longer in charge of Phase 4. Like, there's this is a big wormhole that is now existent in the...
And he was a fantastic writer, and I think contributed a lot to the whole MCU universe.
Or he would have.
Yeah. And I feel like if they change... With him gone, I feel like if whoever's taking his place, things could be quite different, and it would just...
He's turned in a script, though.
Yeah.
For Guardians 3's, because it was supposed to start filming in the fall.
Yeah. And that was supposed to be his last one, too, right? Like, he was making Guardians a trilogy.
And then he was going to be in charge of the cosmic part of Phase 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Phase 4 was supposed to be mostly space stuff, so that was the whole shtick.
And he was good at that.
They're like, you're in charge, you're space. Like, good job. Either way, he got fired because of some tweets he made over 10 years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Sorry, in my opinion, that is ridiculous.
So here's the thing, and this is where the internet is...
Forgive and forget.
Exactly.
Yes, and this is where the internet is kind of in a weird place. Because, as soon as this happened, and I got a text from a coworker, because we went and saw Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
You were working.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll go see it again, though. Either way, we got out of Ant-Man, and like 3 minutes after we got out, one of my coworkers texts me, and he's like, what the heck? With a link, and I'm going, James Gunn fired? No. Like, James Gunn would have had to do something really bad to get fired.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the jokes he made, because that's what they were.
They were a bit.
They were very off color.
Yeah.
Not tasteful. But to be fair, and this is what I even said to my wife when I told her, I'm like, I don't get what Disney didn't know about James Gunn.
Well,
the guy directed stuff called PG porn.
Yeah.
And like all of his stuff used to be shock value humor and comedy.
Yeah.
But I think, and
why
judging off his response,
yes,
James Gunn's response, because he did apologize and say, you know what,
yeah,
I did it. I'm You take ownership
And he's a
for it.
different man. He said he was a different man.
He's grown.
Yes, he's grown, and then he's also said that he's accepted it.
Right.
Yeah.
He understands it, and it's like I mentioned to you yesterday. I think that Disney already knew about this stuff, but said if it comes up, then this has got you got to go.
Yeah. So how did this come up again? Like, why is this resurfacing now? That's what I didn't.
A reporter.
Catch.
I don't know where they're from. The
The
reporter.
United States, a weird news network.
Reported that he used to tweet about this type of stuff.
Like,
They dug the tweets up because
they
anything you
I think-
post is always online forever.
But I think
Yeah.
Disney knew about it already. They told him, if this comes up, we gotta let you go. And just by what he said, I understand. I'm not upset, or I guess whatever.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of the agreement. Is if it came up, then you're gonna have to go.
yeah.
I guess so. It's my biggest thing, and a
Because-
lot of people are going, well, and it's the reaction to Roseanne.
Well,
Yeah,
it's that.
right.
But if you go back and say, and he deleted those.
Yep.
No one knew what they're about. So I'm like, well, would you delete? And it could get worse.
It could have
So
gotten
at least
worse.
it was out there still, and he could say, "Okay, yeah, I said those comments."
Yeah.
And 10 years ago was a long time. I'm a completely different person than I was 10 years ago.
That's the biggest piece of it all, and like someone else said, it's not like he acted on any of this stuff.
No.
And honestly, like there was one where it was he had watched The Expendables, and it was like, The Expendables is so manly. All I want to do is f the boy next to me or whatever. And I'm like, man, was that pretty funny? Like there, like there's, and then people are on like, well, that's not stuff you joke about, and it's like,
Why not?
have you not seen the bevy of stand-up comics, and that's their act? Like,
Yeah.
they joke about
They
rape,
joke
they
about
joke
that
about pedophilia. Like there is that piece to it.
Yeah.
And someone's like, no one popular, and someone's like, Chris Rock has a whole thing going
Yes.
off where everybody has that one uncle where you never leave the kid alone with them.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. And it's like well, that's their uncle. It's not like they're not saying it was like Chris Rock's not saying you don't leave kids alone with me. And it's like, oh my god, it's the same joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my biggest thing was, as long as he's not going after someone specific.
No.
Exactly.
Because that was Roseanne's thing.
That's this day and age
I
now
know.
is where you
Yeah.
say something.
It drives me.
Now, apparently now it doesn't matter how long ago.
Right, and that's
You're
the
gonna
other
get in
piece.
trouble
for
it.
Yeah.
And
Well-
it's a joke. It's he knows it's a joke because he's playing on that because he knows it's bad.
Yep.
And that's why it's a joke.
Yep. Oh, and someone even posted, the other part was, remember when if you told a joke and it was bad, people just thought you were bad at telling jokes?
Yeah. Now they just think you're bad.
Well, now it's like, well, he's clearly a pedophile, and you're going, oh my
God.
Have you not? And then again, I ask, have you not seen his other movies?
Yeah.
Because the jokes are in there, the gratuitous, like,
Well, even-
shock value stuff.
Yeah.
Super, like, there's a rape scene in Super. It happens to a guy,
Yeah.
but, like, with an underage person. Like, again, that's the whole, that was his shtick for the longest time. That's why he got hired by Marvel.
Uh-huh.
Because they knew, like, oh, we need someone a little off the wall to do, Guardians and make it popular to the mainstream. Dave Bautista's come out to say that this is stupid.
Well, that he's the nicest,
Yeah.
sweetest person that I've ever met. This is dumb.
That's what I heard. Like,
We've all made mistakes when we were younger.
Exactly.
And everybody, well, he was an adult. And it's like, yeah, you're allowed to change throughout your life.
Yeah.
Sorry to say. You can be a really nice person and become a dickbag.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
Or you can be a dickbag and become a really nice person.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at how we used to talk.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not go fly. Some of the stuff we would say.
Some of the
Not
stuff I
fly.
still say.
Well, and that's... You can say it, though, because you're Chinese. And it works. But that's the thing, like, I...
So I guess you're gonna have a whole bunch of celebrities go through their past history of stuff and start.
Well, someone says, well, like, in my job, if I had posted something like that and they found it online, I'd be fired. Like, you don't talk like that in my job. And I'm like, again, he's a director who used to make movies where that was the joke.
Yeah.
You might not like it, and you're allowed to have that opinion.
Yeah.
but he didn't actually do anything.
No, and he didn't do it maliciously. He wasn't trying to.
No, that was his other thing. He's like,
someone.
I was trying to start conversations and this kind of stuff and and he's like, and in my own weird way, like I thought I was like, yeah, this is gonna start people talking, and it didn't.
Well, like compared to like Roseanne's thing, she targeted someone, and it was malicious.
Did you hear her latest thing?
Yes,
she didn't think the lady was black.
Yeah. And now she's having this. That's other news. She's having a whole another YouTube thing that her son is producing, and it's just.
She wants Jerry Seinfeld to save her too, because he's sympathetic towards her because he said she shouldn't have been fired. He did an interview where he said she shouldn't have been fired because she had already committed like.
Maybe she'll be on Coffee with.
No.
Comedians.
That's what she wants. She wants to be on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee to like tell her side of the story.
Yeah.
Whereas Jerry Seinfeld's interview was, "Why did you fire her? She pretty much committed suicide with that one line, anyways."
Yeah, he doesn't want you on there.
No. Like Jerry's going, "You screwed up so bad on your own. I don't know why ABC had to fire you. It's like you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
Congrats." Whereas that wasn't a mistake. Because I get where she's coming from, because Kramer did the same thing on stage.
Yes, yeah.
Used the N-word towards someone. But the guy was heckling him, and there was stuff... like, now that time has passed... Why can't I think? Michael Richards, as, him and Jerry are obviously friends.
Yeah.
So Jerry had him on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and they kind of went over it a little bit, and he goes, I was in the moment, I was... the guy kept going, I was having a bad show.
Yeah.
And, yes, I overreacted... I said the wrong thing.
And it costed.
And he's like, I've paid for it. But you sit there going like, that one, was it wrong? Yes.
Yep.
He apologized right quick. And at the same time, like, it's such a wishy-washy type area. But Roseanne legitimately attacked someone without any basis.
No.
Where at least Michael Richards, you can sit there going, the guy was poking at him and poking at him and poking at him.
It's like egging on a bear.
Yeah, the reaction wasn't good, but it wasn't like there wasn't a reaction that was warranted.
Yeah.
He could have been like, "Hey, shut up, dude."
Yeah, he could have.
He used a word that he shouldn't have used.
Yeah.
But the reaction itself was like, that's the thing with Roseanne, where she was just like, "I'm mad at this person," and calling them a racist thing.
Yeah.
Where again, we go back to James Gunn. He didn't go after anybody.
General statements.
General statements. Yes, they were wrong. They were not wrong. They were gross to a certain extent.
Yeah.
They were over the line.
They were, but again, there's a lot of comedians that have passed that line.
Yeah.
Good comedians.
And back 10 years
right
ago,
over it.
But I think
it was comedic culture was so different, and that was acceptable.
Oh, I know.
Like
now
nowadays, it's not. But like so many things were accepted back then that you could totally dig up on like any celebrity, probably.
Sure.
But now that it's not considered
stand-up
okay.
comedy, though, seems to be its own little.
And it always has
seems to be the safe place to do that. Everywhere
Yeah.
else.
Well, someone's like Gilbert
so
Godfrey
much.
was in Aladdin. Like, have you not seen his stand-up? Like, it's pretty raunchy, and it's like, have you not seen Robin Williams' stand-up?
Robin Williams is pretty raunchy too.
It is super
Even
raunchy.
though he's like a kid's icon, and
well, because he did like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Kids love him. Aladdin. Kids love him. Like Hook. Kids love him.
Yeah.
He's done so many iconic, great kids movies, and then you go to his stand-up. Every third word is an F-bomb.
Yeah.
And he's just ranting and raving the whole time he's up there talking about plowing women and this and that and everything else, and you're like,
this is Robin Williams.
But it's the same thing with the guy who plays Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
Yep.
We grew up with him as,
Dad.
Danny Tanner, and then you go to his stand-up and go,
Dad.
What is going on? You watch your language, mister. Because I remember that as kids, like it's you'd see all of a sudden he had a show coming. You're like, oh, we should like go see Danny Tanner, and your parents are like, no.
They know.
They know.
That.
Yeah. They're like, no. We're not going to see that.
Yeah.
Even I remember the roast of Danny Tanner, and I was older when that one came out. Not Danny, Bob Saget. And John Stamos got up to say a few words because he was like the roast master.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and he goes, yeah, you spent... And again, here's the joke. You spent an awful lot of time in the Olsen twins' dressing room And if you think about that, they were.
Yeah.
Like, you sit there going... And that comes out of John Stamos' mouth, and again, I'm like, Uncle Jesse? No! And again, I've always seen John Stamos, like, even when he was on ER, it was he was an older character, but he still wasn't that. All of a sudden, he's doing, like, the raunchy jokes kind of to match Bob Saget's level, and I'm like... And again, that is a very off-color joke.
Yeah.
So should John Stamos no longer be allowed to work for Disney ever?
Has he?
Yep. He's worked for ABC and that kind of stuff.
Now, on like Disney's side, I understand why they're doing this to like keep their image clean, but I still think they went too far.
So, do you want the next part that people brought up online?
What did they?
Well, John Lasseter,
yeah.
who did some unwanted hugging, as they've decided to kind of call it.
Yeah.
Whereas other people would call it, sexual assault or abuse or whatever you want. Yeah. Either way.
The Disney way of putting it.
Yeah. Either way, he got accused of that,
mm-hmm.
and this and that and everything, and like more than one person obviously came out about it, and he got a 6-month sabbatical paid. And still has a consulting job with Disney, even though he's no longer in charge of their things. He's being paid as a consultant.
Wow.
So.
Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know
so
that.
Dude gets accused of actually doing stuff to people.
Doing stuff to people.
Gets paid. Other dude makes some off-color jokes 10 years ago.
So do you see it being turned around then?
I don't know.
We got till the fall, till it's Guardians 3 is supposed to start filming.
Can you appeal this, do you think? Do you think James Gunn would appeal it?
He seemed okay with it. Like I said,
that's the thing.
He seemed okay with getting.
He did. I mean, and he has to to save face to get work in other places.
Batista already stepping up. They figure there's going to be a lot more actors and actresses stepping up to defend him.
Well, and remember, his
it's
brother...
going to be a petition to almost bring him back.
His brother is now a big part of Guardians.
Yeah.
Essentially replacing Yondu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who also does the mocap for Rocket.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, so does his brother walk off set?
But that's a job.
And that's the pieces. Everybody's like, it's a job. Like, same thing. They're like, does Chris Pratt just, like, go and phone it in as a, like, or do you do your job?
If he speaks up.
And that's the biggest piece.
Because even Batista said right at the start, this is all I'm going to say for now.
Yep.
So he's going to say more.
Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Well, these other actors or petitions
there might be
come
more
up.
people. I would like Fillion popping up.
Sure.
You got.
Fillion's
they've worked with.
Fillion's worked with him forever.
Yeah.
They've worked with
Rainn Wilson, Ellen Page.
Yeah, and
it's not like he hasn't had a prolific career working with people.
Yeah.
There might be a lot of people coming to his defense.
Like, I would sign a petition to get him to come back. Just because, like...
Our voice doesn't matter as
it's the celebrity community that would have to step up and...
Yeah.
Because right now the internet is more on his side, and it's really funny because then you get the people who are like, how could you, like, condone this kind of behavior? And it's like, he's not doing it!
Yeah.
He's not... we have that woman who's in Alberta here who told those people to get out of our country. You have... Like, an actual attack against another person or group or that kind of thing, I understand.
Yeah. I agree.
Making a bad joke
10 years ago. Like
10 years ago, I think.
Like a decade ago.
I think is the biggest piece, too.
Like, people change dramatically in 10 years. Like, that's just, like, blows my mind, is that.
Yes.
Anyways.
Disappointing, but
it's disappointing to me because I don't agree with this one. Should he have gotten in trouble? Should he have had to release a statement? Yes.
Yes. And apologize publicly? Yes, which he did.
Which he did, and I thought his apology was perfect,
very
well worded,
on point.
Mm-hmm.
You can obviously tell he's a writer, but like that's what I mean. Like I think the apology was enough, and I think you kind of just keep going.
Let it go.
Yeah. I don't know. That's my opinion. Either way, DC movies might get really good soon.
Yeah.
The DC's like,
we'll take James Gunn.
James, just
that's cosmic stuff.
Yeah. Martian the Manhunter.
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern. There's so much.
James Gunn on a Green Lantern movie?
That would be actually really fun.
Like, that's the thing is everybody's like, dude made some bad jokes 10 years ago, and you're, like,
And he's quite the asset.
That's the big piece is they're like, from a business standpoint, we get you might lose some profits from 6 people not going to see your movies.
From people who are...
But if you don't get the right person to take over Guardians, you're going to lose a heck of a lot more. Everybody's hoping that Taika Waititi takes over.
Oh,
good.
Yeah. He's got the right sensibility to do it.
Yeah. Until something pops up for him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the other thing. Taika's in the same boat. He does weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've gone and gotten creative people now to do their movies, but these creative people have come with baggage.
Yeah.
As long as the baggage is not actually they're doing things to people.
Yeah.
That's my biggest piece of it all. It depends on the
baggage.
It depends on they make some off-color jokes. All right, they made a comment once that they don't like, strawberry milkshakes. Like, oh no. Like, that's my thing. It's not like Taika Waititi sitting at home, like, on Reddit going, this certain race should not belong on Earth. All white people suck. Like, again, there's... I don't know. I was sitting there last night reading comments because right now on Reddit last night it reached over 10,000 upvotes on a front page sort of thing for Marvel, and then the arguments going back and forth, and this thing were like, well, he was linking to, like, females doing this and that and da 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 da, like young girls doing this and that, or talking about this and that, and he was getting off to this and this and this and this and this and this. Read this is what? Sure.
Read this is song.
So either way, like, that was the big piece and then someone posted a picture and someone's like, that didn't come up on any of it. So now there's already fake pictures like making the rounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of stuff like it was like, oh, he tweeted this, and someone's like, and then someone looked and one of the people that had replied to the tweet didn't even have a Twitter account back then.
Oh.
Like, the other sleuth side of every internet's like, well, but this person didn't have a Twitter account back then. How could they have possibly, like, replied to it calling him a disgusting pig?
Yeah.
So either way, James Gunn no longer directing Guardians 3. No longer affiliated.
Yeah.
No longer in business with Marvel or Disney.
Yeah. But they are accepting the strip he handed in, right? They're not kind of like...
We don't know.
Who knows?
He handed it, but at this point, do you really, like, if they're cutting all business ties, if he wrote it, they still have to put written by James Gunn.
And put his name in the credits.
Yep. So how much do you want to do?
That's why I said it might get sold by then.
And it might turn around. It might be like, well, and at Disney won't at this. They can't reverse, but
you could if shareholders got together and.
There's not enough of the PR on this one's like. There's no way to spin that back. Is like, oh well, James Gunn, you were like, never mind. We made a rash decision, because they're not going to say that.
No.
We've accepted your apology.
We accept your apology. Come back and make us a shit ton of money,
please.
What was the official statement they released about John Lasseter?
That he was going. That he would. There was some unwanted hugging. Essentially, that was the shtick, and that he would be taking a 6-month sabbatical while they figured out what to do.
Yeah.
And looked into things. So that was, and again, I get John Lasseter with the 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You investigate.
Yeah.
And then those investigations obviously led to enough where he was no longer in charge of the animation of Pixar or Disney.
Yeah.
But they're still keeping him on as a consultant, and that was like, and there has been no, like, it was just kind of an under the table, like, oh, John Lasseter's no longer in charge, but he's consulting.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do something like that with James Gunn. He's consulting.
Yeah, he's still there. Well, he's a producer too, like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. someone online is like, so he knows what happens in Avengers 4 because he produced it.
Yeah.
Like, he
knows. He knows what's happening.
He knows the next movie, and everybody's like, if he wants to get his pantsuit off and really never work again, sure, he'll tell us what happened. No. No.
But
we'll see what the fallout is. We'll see what other support he gets from other actors and that kind of stuff. I guess is the next big thing. But yeah, cool. Next up, so actual news now. Some of it coming out of Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. By the way, if you're kind of catching this on a rewind, San Diego Comic-Con. So the big Comic-Con, the Comic-Con, as everybody it is. I always love it because we have one in our city. We have the entertainment we have the Comic Expo. So everybody, was that the Comic-Con? And it's like, no. And they're like, well, but it's like Comic-Con. I'm like, no. And they're like, well, but, and I'm like, no. I'm like, Comic-Con is
so much more.
Essence.
It's its own thing, man. Like it takes over the city.
Yeah.
It's like World Cup soccer versus
versus what we have here again. Yes. A team that 5 people go to watch. Yeah, that's the big thing. Greetings, Sisu.
Ew.
Ooh, that's Spanish. So either way, Comic-Con news, some of it coming out. Star Wars, Clone Wars, the animated series, is getting a 7th season.
Comeback.
So this is having to do with the Mandalorian Wars, which is Boba Fett's people are like that, or his armor at least is Mandalorian. In the Rebels show, we have a Mandalorian also. And I don't know her name because I never really got into Rebels. But either way, this is kind of the conclusion to the Clone Wars. This takes us into episode 3.
Okay.
It's kind of the tail end of the Clone Wars before, leading up to essentially Order 66.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be the final thing.
This will be the last season.
So they're not saying final. They never said final. They're leading up to it being the end of the Clone Wars. If it obviously does well, Disney's not going to be like, no more of this. They'll just find a way of being like, oh, an untold story from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's a war.
It's a war. There's lots of...
There's a lot of
stuff.
So they'll be like, oh, 6 years before the end of the Clone Wars, this happened. So season 8 will just take place so many years before, season 7.
We just keep going in reverse.
Yeah. Well, and in all honesty, a lot of things did take place out of chronological order for the longest time in Clone Wars.
Well, yeah, because I remember there was a
guide.
A guide to watch the order.
They're like, watch season 1, episode 3, and then watch season 5, episode 2, and then flip back to season 1 for a bit, and then go back to season 2.
There's a lot.
There's a lot going on, and it finally, it kind of worked itself out. And then season 6 was a jumble of stuff. No. Not really. I didn't have... There was...
hopeful one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. There was some movie news. Halloween got some trailers. Predator got some stuff.
Super.
So
Predator.
The Predator is a sequel.
Yeah.
It's not a reboot.
Sequel to what?
Yes.
Which one?
Yes.
Just
to Arnie's or to Danny or to Glover's?
Definitely Arnie's, because I think it's supposed to be Arnie's son, or the character's son.
Oh yeah, Overlord looks weird.
Yeah, that's the thing right now with
really weird
with the movies and stuff. It's there's not there's trailers
stuff, but
they showed some footage of
yeah. I don't really want to see until the official trailer.
No, the footage they showed was essentially the Losers Club all meeting together.
Yeah.
As grown-ups. So it was essentially here's the old cat, the older cast.
Yeah.
So
we should watch that again.
There was Glass trailer.
Yeah, the Glass trailer.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There was a bunch.
I haven't seen Unbreakable, so I don't know.
It's not bad.
I wasn't.
I like Unbreakable.
I didn't get it.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. And
it's a completely different take on a superhero story.
I haven't watched Split yet. I have it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, I haven't seen Split yet.
You're gonna tie everything together.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. So that's my. We didn't do movies today because I knew the James Gunn thing would take up a lot of time, which it did. That was half an hour.
Sorry.
No, I'm not.
Sorry.
It's big news. It needs to be discussed. Movie trailer wise, I think we'd be getting more if we could see a lot of this behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, we are getting some trailers, but a lot of it's just like, oh, this movie news is coming out. Like, Predators will not be a reboot. It's a sequel.
Sequel, yeah.
I assume Arnie is.
And Halloween is a sequel to the first Halloween.
One.
Yeah.
It's
like
so they're
split timelines.
Yeah.
With, sorry, what's her name coming back?
Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, they're splitting timelines now for a bunch of these movies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No comment.
Yeah, and that's kind of the shtick is like I don't know enough yet.
Oh no, I just don't. I don't like the Halloween one.
I don't.
The Predator, you can put that anywhere.
See, and that's why I thought like even like
Predator is
Alien versus Predator was not my favorite movie.
No, I wanted a better Alien versus Predator.
Alien versus Predator 2 is a better movie. Overall, just with like essentially all you want out of an Alien versus Predator movie is people dying and a predator fighting aliens.
Yes.
Which is what we got in Alien versus Predator 2. AVP 1, I still feel it was like all of a sudden he loses his shoulder cannon and the human's like, I'll help you, and I'm like, really? What are you gonna do that he can't on his own?
Give him his gun back.
Yeah.
Give him his gun.
Yeah.
Like, please give him his gun. I
agree.
Like really.
Like it was more like
I don't know.
Alien versus Predator with the help of a human.
Yeah, humans should just be cannon fodder in those movies. And that's what they were in AVP 2, which was nice. Yeah. But they didn't like rewrite the lore on Predators. They're just like, oh, yeah, Predators exist.
Yeah.
They kind of did with the cross of Alien and Predator.
They did. But they had to find a way to, mix them. And it was like, I felt like that did a good job without stepping on the toes of any other movie.
Yeah. I think this... Yeah.
So either way, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, that's the thing. Alien, Predator, and
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty much. Because even if you played the old video games, if you were human, you were so screwed. Unless you traveled as a pack.
Even then.
And then you were still screwed.
And then it was like, why did you choose human?
The only time humans actually ever did well is when all three races were in the game.
Yeah.
Because
there was
because Predator...
Everything had their own perk.
Well, because Predators could only see one at a time.
Yeah.
If they put on their Predator vision, you could either track aliens, humans, or just have it off. And then you were the same as humans where they couldn't see anything. And, like, it was dark, and you're just like, well, this is stupid. But if you started getting shot, all of a sudden you're like, heal myself, switch to human visor, and maul them to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humans are useless in those movies. That is the whole point. Like, even when you go back to Sigourney Weaver in the first Aliens, she spent most of her... That movie was her surviving.
Yeah. It was a horror movie.
It was a survival movie.
It was a horror movie, not an action movie. 2 was more action.
2 was more
action.
She was a lot more.
The aliens. Doesn't matter if it's an army or not. They just overwhelm you.
That's what I mean. Like the aliens still obliterate.
There's a Zerg.
Yes. Well, yes. If you want to take, yes.
They're a Zerg.
Yeah. They are.
Where the Predators are Protoss, minus shields.
Yeah, but even they have like the tech they have. They could all of a sudden have shields, and you'd be like, yeah.
They could, yeah.
Block an alien.
Bonk!
Nice
try. So yeah, movie-wise, there are movies. I'm waiting till
Overlord.
J.J. Abrams is cool. I'll always see J.J.
interesting. It's just I think the zombie fad has kind of run its course.
Yes. It ran its course very quickly with me.
Except in Dying Light.
I don't count though. See, and they're different in Dying Light.
Yeah.
And so in the fact of at night stuff gets weird and there's evolutions of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, and again, I dig the slow Johnny Romero and just hordes of them, and that's the horror.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead style zombie.
Can't take them all out.
Right, like there's just
you're gonna
they
tired.
overwhelm you.
You're gonna get tired.
Right, and they don't.
Yeah.
Like that's the shtick. The running zombie thing always pissed me off.
Yeah.
I never quite understood that one. I'm like, they're breaking down, and
World War Z.
Ugh. They look like ants. Like just when they're like.
But see, and that's the other piece is like again, I get them climbing each other, and eventually. Yeah, but it's this slow, all you see is like this wall of zombies slowly going up and humans going, uh-oh. What do?
We need to run, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do? Like, we thought the city was pretty much impenetrable, and eventually the weight of all of them would just crash something down. Because that's what happens in any of the other movies. Enough of them go against the windowed walls of a mall
that the glass breaks
behind
in,
them pushing.
Down.
They don't feel the pain. You get the...
The only one that I liked with the running was Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, but that was Romero, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Zombieland.
But they were running. They ran.
Zombieland was comedy, though.
Yeah.
They're making a second one.
So
there's some movie news.
Next year?
Something like that.
Something, yeah.
Unless, of course, someone who's involved in that movie made some off-color, comments. Woody Harrelson.
You could say that about everything.
I'm sorry,
you
Woody Harrelson.
About everything.
I know,
right?
It can fit into every conversation now. It just pisses me. It just pisses me off. But either way,
yes.
We are getting Clone Wars season 7. I think Disney would be stupid to stop at season 7. In all honesty,
unless they focus on Rebels more.
Rebels is done.
But yeah, if they do something with Rebels,
they
do between 3 and.
That was Rebels.
Yeah.
3 and Rogue.
That was Rebels. Like, that's the thing. Rebels is that
between 4 and 5.
Then it's Luke Skywalker and Han Solo.
Yeah. You don't need to get their voices. You just have them as characters.
I'm down with that.
And you have them on the run where they went in between, where they destroyed the Death Star and the Empire rebuilding.
I'm down with that. Because you can find decent enough people to do voice actors for those people. It's easier than finding an actor to replace Han Solo, but
And then you could do in between 9 or 6 and 7.
You could, and that's totally there's encompassing things that you could do. The Clone Wars was just so good because you had the Jedi doing their thing, plus you had the rise of the Emperor, and actually, you want to make political intrigue intriguing. Clone Wars, the cartoon series, did it.
Does it? Yeah.
As opposed to episodes 2, 3, 2 and 3, where it was we shall rule, and it's why? And all of a sudden you watch the Clone Wars, you're oh, I get it now.
Yeah, that's why.
We get more Kenobi.
I like Kenobi.
You just wait for the Kenobi movie.
Which is still technically on hold, right?
No, they said
everything's back in.
Everything's back?
They said that was false, and it's not.
Yeah.
Oh.
They've got 9 Star Wars movies in production.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah. That was the other...
That's crazy.
That was the other side of things, was someone's nothing's canceled. They have 9 movies going right now, and I'm
And, whoever they talk to, you're oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, either way, this is cool. I did let Ross, who was here last week, he's a huge Clone Wars fan. So I got the news. I spread it to you guys, and then I texted Ross going hey!
Yeah.
Clone Wars Season 7! And he's what?
I've never seen.
I'm there's a trailer on this. It's on Netflix for Canadians if you're in Canada.
Is this so?
Yep.
I looked because I went to do my I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Just to kind of
I
shut down for the day, and I'm Clone Wars. And then I looked, and I'm my wife will wake up if I watch this show.
Because of you or because of the show?
Because of the show.
Oh, okay. I thought
not a lot wakes her up, but every once in a while, if I watch Supernatural, for whatever reason, she wakes up and goes "What are you watching?" And it can be the quietest part of Supernatural.
That's why.
But no, it's the music or something that hits. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, even the beginning of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where it's nothing. But Supernatural or Star Wars music, or just there's one tone somewhere in there that just
clicks in her. And
and all of a sudden she's what are you watching? And I'm I'm sorry, I'll go back to Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Brooklyn Nine-Nine had a panel too, if you want to segue into other weird stuff. But Scully and Hitchcock are getting their own episode.
Yes.
They are getting more involved.
Yeah, they are.
Talk about that in the post-credit.
Yes. Either way, so Star Wars Season 7.
Another cartoon.
Yeah, I just fit in the other one there because it fit right there. So another one that you told me about yesterday was the return of
Rugrats.
Yeah.
Ba, ba, ba.
Now they did a weird Rugrats sequel show where they were
older. They were children.
They were
teenagers.
Yeah, they had grown up a bit.
Yeah.
Or were they teenagers or were they adults?
No, they weren't adults.
They weren't adults.
They weren't even, I don't think, teenagers. It was kind of they were.
Except Angelica
Angelica was the cool teenager.
friend.
Yes.
Yeah. Susie? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
No, Susie was her doll.
Don't know much about it, but it's...
Again, it's another series that you can bring back in.
Yeah. Were they making it a live action?
No.
No.
I heard there was a rumor that...
This is...
I don't know how you live action that. That's babies.
Yeah.
Babies don't follow directions.
Like, why would you
as
make
long as
it
they
a live
don't
action?
see, and my only thing is they might go with a 3D animation thing as opposed to
the 2D.
The 2D stuff. But the 2D with enough technology is making a comeback. Like we see it with Rick and Morty, we see it with Family Guy. Like watching Family Guy in one quick stretch, which is what I did, because
you watch the animation grow on that.
You do, and so I looked it up online because I'm like, I want to know how they do this, because The Simpsons did the same thing. All of a sudden, after the movie, the animation quality went
very
and I looked it up. All of a sudden, there was a program that came out, and you can buy it. Like you can use it. I can buy it and use it if I knew what I was doing. Yeah. But essentially, you create the characters and you create Stewie walking. Well, you never have to do Stewie walking again. He's saved.
It just knows.
Yeah. So you want Stewie walking in a scene, Stewie walks.
Yeah.
You want Stewie to be mad, Stewie's mad. Like, there's his face, it's done.
Yeah.
Any tweaks you have to make, you can make. But the essential basic animations are done, so all of a sudden the shows get made faster. It looks prettier because it's HD
quality.
You can do whatever, digital quality. There's none of this remastering stuff where they're like going over like paint lines again. Like, you can see the pencils. Like all of that stuff. So hopefully they go that route.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume so.
I'm assuming.
Also brought up the thing with people is what other Nickelodeon do.
Oh, sure.
Bring back Cat and Dog.
Oh, man, Cat Dog. Angry Beavers. Is that one of them?
I remember Angry Beavers. I watched that show all the time.
I think it was just our right as a Canadian to watch. Like, it's like, oh, there's beavers on TV. You must watch it.
And they were so quirky.
Hey Arnold. I think Hey Arnold was supposed to be making a comeback too. So, yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
The only one I don't care about is SpongeBob SquarePants.
Our Saturday morning cartoons are coming back.
I know. Well, so and then on other parts, DuckTales has Don Carnage from Tailspin making a cameo appearance.
They revealed something in the new DuckTales trailer.
Yes.
With Magica. Come on.
Magica. So here spoilers ish. There's a character in DuckTales right now who has like a stone, and inside the stone is the essence of Magica, so she keeps appearing as a shadow.
Okay.
So you get the basic like silhouette shape of her, and you're like, oh man! Like they've been building up to Magica, so the fact that they're like, she's coming, I'm like, yeah. I can't wait. But DuckTales is doing this whole thing where all of a sudden Don Carnage from Tailspin, like the dog, the pirate, is in there, and I'm like, okay, they've mentioned Cape Suzette, which is Tailspin. They've had Darkwing Duck as a TV show within the TV show, and I'm just like, Gizmo Duck is in DuckTales. Like they're fully going like, hey, remember those cartoons y'all loved?
Nostalgia overload.
Gargoyles coming back.
Oh my god!
Is Gargoyles coming back?
No.
Oh, okay.
But my thing is now
Saturday morning cartoons.
Here's so. With DuckTales right now, they're on season 1 still.
Mummy's Alive.
Oh my god, such a good show. That wasn't anybody though. That was
which one?
Mummy's Alive.
Oh yeah.
Mummy's Alive.
I used to be able to sing that whole song.
Bring back Dinobots. The Transformers.
Oh, Beast Wars.
Beast Wars. That's
Beasties.
Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
But so DuckTales is just finishing its first season. If you buy it on Google Play, like we did, it's Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Yeah.
But it is still Season 1.
Oh, okay.
So they're just finishing their first season.
Yeah.
So the fallout of Season 1, it's like, it's doing well enough that there's legitimately plushies now of Huey, Louie, Dewey, and oh my god.
Abigail?
I don't think that's her name.
I can't remember.
I don't know. It's lost me right now. Either way, it's they've got the plushies out. Like they are selling the Saturday morning cartoon nostalgia stuff like mad. If you go there right now, like I got the mugs of all the Tailspin and DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and the other one.
Okay.
Rescue Rangers.
Rescue Rangers.
I got those mugs, but they have T-shirts. They have this. Like the merchandise coming out for all the Saturday morning cartoon stuff. is big right now. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, like it's coming. So at the end of this season, I feel like next season we're gonna get DuckTales and Something else.
Yeah. Darkwing Duck.
I don't have Disney XD, so I haven't watched any of this.
Again, Google Play, you can buy.
They will probably come to their streaming service. So
yes, that's what I'm waiting for, and I'm just gonna binge watch everything. I kind of looked at the DC one.
Yeah.
It's not coming to Canada when it's getting released.
No. We talked about that. You missed that show, but yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah. I might, because after watching that Titans trailer.
Yeah, that's.
But that's one of those ones where they will probably they'll do a DVD release. They'd be stupid not to. Or again, digital purchases.
Yeah.
Like that's what I do. If I really like a show, I'll digital purchase, and like we're at the point where DuckTales now we're getting them every week because we've caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now this we have a new DuckTales to watch. Which is kind of exciting when it's digital because it's not like new show on tonight like it used to be when we were kids. Where you're like, oh man, like
I can watch it.
Waiting for Monday or waiting for
it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like new on Thursday.
Oh, that was.
And then, apparently they're rebooting the Joss Whedon's involved in a TV reboot of Buffy.
Really? With Sarah Michelle Gellar?
No. You don't need that.
No, you don't. That show was.
It's fine.
It was good the way it still
is good. I get
good
remaking the movie as a TV show. Because the movie was atrocious, but
I bought recently.
Which movie? The one before.
It was so
the one
cheesy.
before the Sarah Michelle.
Yeah, the only Buffy
It was so cheesy.
Sure. No. Okay.
No, so cheesy. So cheesy.
I love it.
I dig it. I love it. But when you watch it compared to the TV show, it's like
the show is taking itself serious, kind of serious.
The show had the show was funny, but dark. The movie was just cheesy.
Just cheesy.
They rewrote it as a comic and actually tied it into the.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tied it into the show. Good. Yeah, it worked out way better because it was Joss Whedon wrote the movie.
Oh yeah, I know.
But didn't direct or was not involved in any way. So he wrote it, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, so the comic was this is what I wanted as the film. So all the characters were still there, all the beats still happened, all the all the stuff still worked. It just
where the guy's dying in the back, just
yeah. You still get some of that shtick, but it's good. Either way, so Buffy reboot. And Rugrats returning, which I'm really like the renaissance of cartoons, man.
Yeah. It was the golden age of Saturday morning cartoons.
I like cartoons. I try to watch cartoons. Yeah. Kids TV nowadays, when my nephew comes over, we watch TV.
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol makes sense for the demographic of 4-year-olds. Because, honestly, he wouldn't watch DuckTales. That wouldn't be up his alley. There's too much dialogue. There's too much. Paw Patrol's is like, oh, guy got trouble, dog saved, guy, everything good.
Yeah.
My problem watching Paw Patrol is the same idiot keeps getting stuck on the side of a mountain. He should no longer be a snowboard instructor.
You watch Storybots with him, man?
No.
You should watch Storybots.
Yeah, okay. But that's what I mean. But the shows that we used to watch, Gargoyles, Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, that kind of stuff. Mummy's Alive, even. I watched the shows that
really scary one.
Are you afraid of the dark?
No, it was a cartoon one, and
Goosebumps.
The way in the episode I remember was there were parasites that always stuck to your head, and they would control you. And
Animorphs?
No, it was it was a cartoon. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Beetleborgs. Either way.
Anyways,
Lights from space or Mars.
Invader Zim. But that's the thing. Every once in a while, we get one cartoon that kind of kills it, and you're like, yeah. And then the rest of them.
Crypt Keeper.
Oh, Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt. Sorry. Anyways, I just
based on the old
movies. That movie. Sorry. Anyways, I digress.
No, you're good. But we got all these old, when we grew up. Honestly, all the cartoons, not all of them, obviously, or we'd be talking about 8 billion cartoons. Yeah. But the majority of cartoons that did well were good cartoons. The jokes hit. You could watch them with parents, and parents weren't like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, "Oh."
Because again, as adults, I buy Darkwing Duck, and I'm like, "I am the terror that flaps in the effing night." Yes. Because they told compelling stories to kids.
Yes.
They don't do that anymore.
No, it's all
Adventure of the Week.
Colors and
and even Animaniacs. You go back and watch Animaniacs, which apparently they're working on rebooting.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
Pinky and the Brain.
Again,
Pinky and the Brain would be great.
So good. And you look at that kind of stuff compared to what they have on TV now, and you're going, What happened? Like, did they just fire all the good writers? Or did they just not want them on TV anymore? Like, that's not what the demographics are looking for.
You go in a cycle.
And they are. It's a cycle. We're coming up on the actual, like, good cycle, though, which is nice.
Which is, like, 20 years later.
Like, I posted
those... we're retired and sit back and watch cartoons.
Like, I posted those mugs that I got online, and one of the people on the Disney subreddit was like, oh, it's a shame they screwed up that new DuckTales. And the rest of the thing after that was like, what do you mean they screwed up? Like, they've done a fantastic job. And I love DuckTales. Like, I have the original DuckTales motion picture. That's right.
Oh, I remember that.
They came out with a movie where they found a magic lamp.
Yep. That was a good movie.
Webigail!
That was a good movie.
I was close.
We were, yep. Abigail was Webby. But, like, they came out with that movie, and I remember watching that. I loved that. I love all the things they're doing in the new... There's callbacks, like, enough of them where you're like, yeah. Launchpad's still Launchpad. Like, he understands that crashing is the only way to, you know, get stuff done. And they don't even show him crash anymore. But, like, there's one episode that's kind of Launchpad-centric. But there's one where they're climbing Mount Neverest. Because no one's never makes it to the top. And... legitimately, the plane's already crashed, and he's digging them out, and he's like, "Okay, we can leave now." And then it shows the outside of the plane, and he's just crashed into the side of like a snowbank, and you're like, "Oh, Launchpad." Like the joke's there without doing the joke.
Yeah.
And it's like there's again really smart writers involved. In that show. We need smart writers for kids' cartoons.
Maybe it's because there was that writer's strike way back then.
And a bunch of them quit.
And a bunch of them, like...
No.
Remember
they started
way
working
back
at
when?
Baskin-Robbins.
And so no one wrote good cartoons, and then everyone's like, how do we write cartoons again?
I think TV changed. We got a lot of the reality stuff, and it got cheaper to make. And I think that's the thing now is cartoons are getting cheaper to make again.
That could be it.
And I think that's part of the resurgence of good cartoons is, well, again, some of the really bad cartoons we got, the animation was bad.
Yeah.
And that was the other piece. We used to, like, Gargoyles, we talk about being like, yeah! If you watch the commentaries, once Gargoyles started doing really well, and they ordered an episode a week, they're like, we can't do that. And they're like, we know. So draw all your pictures. We're sending it to China. And they did. Like, they outsourced to China. That's why if you watch all those Saturday morning cartoons, when they needed a bear... you always got the same bear.
Yeah,
you got the crocodile from Peter Pan because all the reference images that animation studio got, they weren't a Disney animation studio. They were just legitimately an animation studio, and they're like, we need a crocodile, and they're like, okay, go through the files, crocodile. Oh, this one.
I heard the dance scene between the Robin Hood and
no, that was Disney animation.
But that was the same dance as like Snow White's and
rotoscoping.
Rotoscoping, yeah.
They take the same. There's a lot of the same stuff, and that was Disney kind of got. It was just a cheap way.
They had to be efficient.
And if you look at the dates and times when those movies came out,
makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because it was so time.
There was there's financial constraints on the company. Yeah. Like Disney's hasn't always been the powerhouse it is.
No, it's grown into that.
It has grown into that through a lot of hard work, and
we should have bought stocks.
Well, yeah.
When we were kids.
Yeah, totally.
Even when we were 18. Buy stocks.
You can still buy stocks.
Yeah, now they're way too expensive. Now they're way too expensive.
Yeah. I know. Me too. I think Tony owns one.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be spending that.
Yeah, but soon that stock could be worth 105.
Oh, boy.
But either way, like, they farmed it out to China to keep it cheap. Or Asia or whatever. You know, like a country in the Asias. To keep it cheap, and that's why every once in a while the animation like recycled itself or didn't look as crisp as it always did because it was essentially a bunch of people going like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, they're just tracing over.
Yeah. Essentially, not even tracing, but they're going like, oh, they need this guy flying, and they know what he looks like flying due to old animation, so he's flying.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. Funko Pop on all of this stuff has Gargoyles coming out too. The pop figures.
Maybe.
They're releasing as Gargoyles. So I'm like, I can get a Lexington, like, oh my god.
Maybe.
I know. So that's my thing is I feel like after DuckTales, we are going to get something else. Moving on, Nathan Fillion Speaking of people involved with James Gunn is a weird
long.
Everything's connected.
Yeah, long segue. I was gonna say he was in Guardians 1 and 2.
Oh no, long segue.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of James Gunn, Nathan Fillion was involved in over the weekend, I guess, last weekend.
Yeah.
A fan-made Uncharted short film.
Yeah.
Where he played Nathan Drake.
Made by the same guys that did the Power Rangers? Was it?
I can't remember who it was.
Either way,
it looked
good.
That looked good. He matched that.
So, and like people said, they're like, and I think he's slowly getting into better shape again. He kind of let himself go with Castle.
With Castle, yeah.
Well, he's also playing a rookie.
He's playing a rookie.
Oh yeah, I want to watch that.
So he's gonna have to get kind of
in more shape. So that's what I feel like. This came out, and I'm like, you look like you're getting in better shape because Castle, he he kind of fit that writer role a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
He did what he was supposed to do, but all of a sudden it was like in this one he's kind of got the Captain Tight Pants on again, and I'm like,
And he did his own stunts.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Again, for a fan-made film that you're not going to spend fortunes on.
No, millions of dollars.
He did well. I don't agree with the Sully choice.
That was my thing. I was like, Sully was a little off to me.
I don't agree with the Sully choice. The girl, sure.
But again,
you could have easily got the voice actor who looks exactly like her anyways to just come back and do it.
And again, I think that's more of a budget.
Yeah, they couldn't afford to pay.
They've paid Nathan Fillion now. They're out.
It was a fan film. You're not paying him to do it.
Oh, you're paying him.
He's getting something.
He got paid.
He wanted recognition that he can do this.
Yeah,
because he actually likes playing the games and he apparently likes solving puzzles.
Yeah.
He can do this.
He's part of an actors union. He got paid.
I do want to see his new show though, The Rookie. Like just because it's Nathan Fillion.
And it's the only draw for me. I'm sitting there going like, Nathan, you've made a good career choice for you because it's a cop procedural drama, so it'll go far. Because that's what happens on TV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and my only other problem is it's from the creators of Castle.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't see that.
And Castle went
Castle went downhill fast.
Such a good show. And then they finally got him and Kate together. And it's like, good. This will be fresh. Like, good way to take the show. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, getting him and Amy together. Like, you know, it creates a new dynamic without a new dynamic. And you're like, cool. All of a sudden, the beginning of next season, they split them up. After they got together. Because she's like, after all the stuff they've gone through for 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this guy comes to her and he's like, you can't tell anybody. And she's like, I won't. And she's like, I have to deal with this on my, like, something on my own. Like, screw off, Rick. And Castle's like, what did I do? And he's like, anything, like, and his legit answer is, all the stuff we've been through, I can help.
Yeah.
Like, I can clearly help you with whatever's going on. No, you can't. And I'm like, this is out of character for so many people.
Yeah.
So that's my one worry with that one is it's from people who wrote Castle.
Well, I know a lot of people with this, they want a film now. They want an actual film. But I think we had our conversation a little bit. Tom Holland is already scheduled to play Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
A young one.
A young one. Drake.
This movie is going to be made by Sony.
Yes.
Sony and Tom Holland with Spider-Man and everything, they're already pretty tight.
Maybe Tom Holland just plays the young Nathan Fillion.
Where you have
flashback
Fillion come in just talking about how he started.
No. Tom Holland legitimately does like 3 scenes. Or a scene.
No, that's not going to happen.
No, don't care.
Or if
as much as I love Tom Holland, 1, I love Tom Holland. 2, he's not Nathan Drake.
You have to see it.
Yeah, no.
I want to see things. I want to see trailers.
Well, but the movie's not even being made at this point. Like, that's my other piece to that one is they were like, well, Mark Wahlberg's going to play Nathan Drake. And I'm like...
There was such backlash for that.
Well, there was because they miscast everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else they had in that, but it was Mark Wahlberg playing Nathan Drake, and that doesn't match.
No, it didn't. So there was backlash.
Nathan's not supposed to be a big, muscular dude. He's supposed to be a kind of runner.
Yeah. He's the agility type person.
A slim, athletic.
Who can still handle himself in a fight.
Yeah. Like, big enough to handle himself in a fight, but yes, can, like, slide under a door. And yes,
more
toned.
Toned. That's
but
a good word.
But at this point, like, there's still no progress on the Tom Holland movie, so I'm hoping they're looking at this going, like, you know, it's up in the millions of, you know, likes on YouTube and this and that people are talking about it, it's generating buzz, and you're just like...
You gotta ride the high of a new game.
It worked for Deadpool.
You gotta ride the high of a game.
See, and I don't know about that one. I would do Uncharted and try and not associate it with... I know you can't, but, like, try not associating with the games.
They tried Lost Legacy.
I know.
I don't know. That did decent.
Yeah. But there was some of the cool things in that movie. Like, even when he went to go shoot someone, it actually kind of went over the shoulder for the camera. Like, they added a HUD to that after IGN did, and where they're showing the bullets and everything. Yeah. And then when he came out for that flying triangle. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. They made it feel like the game without the game. Like, there was the nods to it without it feeling like that.
Well, it wasn't like the Doom movie.
See, and later, like, I found the new Tomb Raider movie did a good job of associating it with the games.
It went more realistic.
It did, which is good.
Yeah, which is what the newer games are doing.
Yeah. But it felt like all of a sudden it was, you know, this starts breaking. She has to climb really fast and get out of, you know, that plane before it goes down. That feels like, oh, that would fit perfectly.
That was
in the game.
From the game.
But that's
and I didn't make it.
It fits perfectly in both, but it doesn't feel out of place in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing where all of a sudden, like, he goes to shoot and it kind of swings over his shoulder like it would in the game, and you're like, yeah, this... But it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm watching a video game now. It's like, oh, I'm watching...
Yeah.
You know, I'm watching a well-done movie.
The only part I kind of had a problem with is Sully.
I agree. I'm with you on that one.
Sully just didn't...
And that's my shtick, is I think if this did gain traction and Sony went like, oh, damn. Because in all honesty, it would take Nathan Fillion a month to get into actual good shape if he had...
Well, he just goes what with there.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, with Sony backing him, if he actually got toned again, it would...
But then you're also going... The problem with that, though, is you're going with an older Nathan Drake.
Yep. I'm okay with that. Again, I like Tom Holland. I love Tom Holland.
I'm not saying Tom Holland, but I'm saying just Nathan Fillion's age.
Yeah.
You're starting at old Drake.
Yep.
I would more lean towards a younger one.
I get it. You have a longer franchise, but...
Or start old and then just do prequels. I feel like Tom Holland needs to age a bit. He looks too like
Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he goes on these different things to find the different relics. He does a lot. So have him younger so he can...
Or you do it this way where you do a Nathan Fillion movie with, like I say, a flashback. One flashback, go like Last Crusade flashback where it's Tom Holland running around doing something.
Yeah.
And going like, oh, this is how he gets into adventuring and it's Tom Holland. And you're like, oh. And then Tom Holland is gone and it's a Nathan Fillion movie. But then at the same time, you're filming like...
A prequel?
3, like young...
That'd be kind of cool.
Young movies, and that way you're not... You know,
I don't know.
And then once Nathan Fillion gets too old, you're like, oh, prequel movies that we filmed 6 years ago.
That would be kind of cool to see, actually, and be like...
Like, film them at the same time, essentially.
To keep the age the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever done that before?
No.
Because
nothing can stay under wraps.
Right. Well, was Malkovich's... Is it his name Malkovich?
John Malkovich.
Yeah, his 100-year movie or whatever. That's in a vault.
I don't know.
He has that movie that's supposed to be released in 100 years, and it's... No one knows anything about it.
How long ago?
This was like 2 years ago.
So we got 90 more years.
Yeah. No, well, we won't be here.
Well,
challenge accepted, damn it.
I will be a head in a jar.
I will be a head in a floating jar.
Well, you can add rockets to it later.
Still doing this show. Back in my day!
We played games with our mind.
We had bodies! Anyways.
And then last bit of news this last week, and I mean, we'll talk about it more in the post-credit show, how we felt about it, I guess. But the World of Warcraft pre-patch came out. So this is we do now have the 8.0 expansion. Mm-hmm. So this is the expansion patch, essentially.
Leading in, yeah.
It has all the stat changes and that kind of stuff, mechanics changes, talent changes, all that jazz. The problem is And this, I sent you a link last night to this one. Just because, like, at 110, dealing with certain things, and then even when we ran a dungeon the other night, dealing with certain things, we're like, man, the stats are just not doing what they should be doing. Like, some stuff's hitting too hard.
Yeah.
Some of our stuff's not hitting hard enough. Blizzard put out a statement. So essentially what happened was the last time they did a stat squish was Warlords of Draenor. And essentially the whole point to this is to make the numbers smaller. So you're not sitting there in a raid all of a sudden going like, oh, this boss has 8 billion health.
Yeah,
I'm doing this much damage. It just makes it easier to do calculations.
But then lower their health.
Well, but here's the shtick. Is the last time they did this, they individually went through everything. Yeah, so every spell, every creature, everything.
They said it was like 13,000 spells and 150,000 different...
Something. It was a
crazy number.
But they individually went through each one and tweaked numbers.
Yeah.
This time,
to save time and money,
they wrote out a background system that essentially, the guy describes it as like turning a volume knob.
Yeah.
So you can be like down, down. The cool part to that is the whole point to it was the next expansion they would just boop and everything would shift.
Yeah.
So more work in the front end, less work later.
Yeah.
Problem is, one, it didn't work.
No.
Like the code they wrote didn't shift the numbers the right way for everybody. So at 110, like I've been questing and they have been patching, like they've been doing hot patches, like hot fixes.
Yeah.
So at 110, I found that like I've been doing a bunch of my broken shore quests as Goldor to get my class mount because I never got him. So I've been doing that and I've been okay. Like I've been killing stuff without problems, that kind of stuff. Where's the Tony is not here today. Tony is Pokemoning, we believe.
Yes.
He is Zapdosing. So either way, but we ran a dungeon the other night, and like a mid boss, we had problems fighting because his ads were doing an insane amount of damage in no time flat.
They could 2-hit me. Like
yes.
They showed up, hit me twice, and I was dead.
Right. So as the healer of that group,
you can't do anything about that.
One, I can't save you.
No.
Two, most of the time, I was dead already because I had the aggro because I was healing the tank so much.
The aggro wasn't working properly. I don't know what that
didn't
was.
catch. We figured it out. We got through it. So I think we deserve an achievement for that. But
with some vanilla tactics.
Yeah, we went old school, and thank God our tank hadn't played since like old school.
I've never used traps before.
But they are working on fixing the balancing issues, and that was the biggest part. The other part too was. They didn't check every quest.
No, they did not.
There are now certain quests. There were certain quests that involved your artifact weapon, for instance, having so many points added to it or being so powerful.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It now checks and goes, "Oh, your artifact weapon's not powerful."
Yeah, because all of our artifact weapons have been kibosh.
Correct. So they haven't fixed some of those. The other part to the stat squish dial thing. Was it has woken up bugs that have been sleeping for like 11 years.
Yeah.
Because instead of individually going through everything and going, okay, turn this down, and when they turn it down, they go, oh, this changed.
This changed, yeah.
They just went, turn knob, things go down. And then they didn't notice all these other changes that happened. Yeah. So yes, there's all these extra bugs where aggro's not working properly or something didn't get turned down. Like those ads, I think, didn't get tuned down.
I don't think the spawn point was where it was supposed to be either. Like, they were spawning right where he was.
That's what I mean.
I think they were supposed to run in from somewhere.
Yeah, so either way, Blizzard's working, like, around the clock to fix this. And again, people have been complaining.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, for me, I would rather this happen now than on August 14th.
Yeah, when everything is just...
The world really opens up to us and we can start doing stuff.
Yeah. And I know in Scythia...
Yes.
Silithus.
Yeah.
There's that lady you talked to that changed back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly how Tristfall Glades, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
You talk to her and she'll switch it back.
Timey-wimey.
Yeah.
Same with, they did that for Draenor too. It was a little person you can talk to for the portal.
Oh, yes. Yes, you have to talk to a different person to go through.
Yeah, some changes.
Lots of changes, which are like the new expansion pack seems exciting. My only other gripe, I guess, would be, I get why they do it, but war mode, which is, I like...
PvP.
I dig it. I think it's a really cool way of doing PvP. And right now, the bonus is this, is when you go into war mode, you go into your own kind of subsection of not exactly your server. It actually amalgamates a bunch of servers together.
Oh, okay.
Because your world, as soon as you go into war mode, is only populated by other people in war mode.
Yeah. You don't see
and we figured that out.
But here's the shtick, is, one, the cities are going to feel way emptier to us.
Yeah. Unless everyone goes in war mode, which...
But here's the cool advantage. Everybody is so afraid of entering war mode, we don't actually have to worry about getting killed by other people while gaining extra 10% experience on stuff.
And we get... Until people get the confidence.
Oh, no, and that's the other piece, is hopefully... Yeah. I really do. I hope people gain the confidence
better abilities
to jump into it. And we get some extra abilities while we're running around on the surface world.
Yeah.
It doesn't work in dungeons, which kind of pisses me
off.
Oh, really? No. Those moves don't work in dungeons, which...
That's the whole point of aspect of the cheetah and being able to apply to a group. Why would you need to apply it inside of a dungeon? Where you're not
like outside of a dungeon?
Yeah.
In PvP. The whole point is it's supposed to help you fight other people.
Oh, so it works in like PvP, but just not like dungeons.
Just not dungeons.
But the battlegrounds.
Oh yeah, battlegrounds.
Okay.
For sure.
Capture the flag. I did that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the shtick is like there's some tweaking that they still have left to do. But the war mode thing, I'm like, I kind of wish I still saw people, even if I couldn't fight them.
Yeah. So that you could like maybe egg them on to join war mode.
Yeah, like even it's like.
You taunt them.
And the cool part, you have to go back to your Ogrimmar or Stormwind to activate it. So it's not like you can just be like walking around non-PvP'd and then
snipe a guy.
Well, and then wait for enough of your guys to show up and all of you hit PvP at once and then attack. This is the really nice way of like, you can't really, you can still get ambushed. I got ambushed the other day, but it felt good.
Yeah, well, like, I think I was talking to you about it that one time where I was in a place where it was kind of a neutral area.
Yeah.
And there was a question mark guy looking at me, and he turned on PvP, and I'm like, no. I'm not doing this.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no thanks. But yeah, that's the thing, like walking around the Broken Shores and doing a lot of those quests and running into other people.
It depends for me with the PvP. The Hunter, I feel confident that I can walk around the PvP and still hold my own. I'm not going to against most things.
Challenge accepted. I've killed a lot of stuff.
Paladins, I'm not Paladins, warriors, I'm not going to be able to back away fast and kite them enough.
You'd have to use a lot of your skills, like in your traps.
Use traps.
But
your tar trap, your frozen trap.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
All of those traps.
Disengage.
My warrior is the one I'd be concerned with.
Really?
Well, he's my 110. There's a lot of more experienced 110s out there.
Not really right now, because a lot of people are character boosting.
Yeah. Did you character boost your warrior?
Yes.
Oh, so your warrior's 110?
He has a straight back, too.
Oh.
Yeah, straight back.
Oh, so we can 110 now?
Yeah.
We always could.
Yeah,
I've always had him.
Oh, you've always...
We always get on the same night that he's playing his...
Oh, no, I've stopped doing that rotation. I've stopped carrying.
Yeah.
I've just been working on my Hunter.
Yeah. Because you like that Hunter.
Hunters is my go-to. Mm-hmm. It always has been, even when I played way back when. That was my Hunter. Everything just feels weird if I don't.
Shaman's fun.
Yeah.
I have one. But then my issue with those is doing everything is coming to one area.
Yeah.
I get that. And that's where
the Barrens seems to be my big go-to area where everyone's flocking to right now.
Oh, well, then no go to the Barrens. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can now. That's the cool part about questing from 1 to 60 is you can legit
it's all, yeah.
After that, though, it's north.
Anyway.
No, after 60, it's north.
Yeah, Northrend.
No, 60 is Outland.
Is it?
Right.
Oh, no, you can go to North. We skipped right to Northrend.
Yeah, we did go to Northrend. And then 80 is Cataclysm?
Yeah.
And then it's Pandaria.
Yeah.
And then it's Draenor.
And then Draenor.
And then it's Legion. And then it's Azure.
You level so quick though, you honestly don't notice. And
you could skip parts.
If you're really like, oh man, Draenor's a bummer, because it kind of is. You can just dungeon finder your way all the way up.
Yeah, which I've done.
That's helped doing dungeons with you guys has helped.
Yeah. You level so fast in dungeons. The only problem now is dungeons are like a big question mark until the stats thing is fixed, because I'm like, I don't feel confident jumping in as a healer anymore.
Yeah. I want to see how Resto Druid is, because I haven't...
Right.
We haven't played with my Resto Druid
yet.
That's your 110s?
No, that's my 70s.
There are mooses.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm almost caught up to that one.
That's why we said we can almost play with our moose again.
Yeah, we want to get... our goal is to get you up to 70 so we can use our druids to get to quest, dungeon, PvP.
I tank and he heals. We get into dungeons.
We literally exit dungeon,
right.
get
For
in
you,
dungeon.
it doesn't
exit dungeon, get in dungeon. Exit dungeon, get in dungeon.
Because we come as a pair. So essentially, if we come with you, all of a sudden we just need 2 more DPS, and there's 1,000.
There's 1,000.
We do have a 4th. I keep forgetting to.
I know. You know what? Well, it was funny. He actually whispered me the one day. He was like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Hello," and I got nothing. And I'm like, "I did."
Tanky Wanky?
What? No, not Tanky Wanky.
Oh.
One of the people we know from
high school.
From high school. We could have another person in our guild.
He's okay. He's okay with healing and all that. He's confident in doing.
Yeah, he used to play, didn't he?
Yeah. He used to go on serious raids.
Can I be healer?
No. Yeah.
You guys have to fight over it.
Oh. I'll start something else maybe and try.
I don't know what character he has though. I haven't been paying attention to that.
I quite like healing.
Well, you've been tanking, haven't? Well, no. What are you running now?
He's a DPS with the
my rogue.
Rogue.
Yeah.
He's DPS.
I don't even remember what I have at this point anymore.
Priest, druid.
Oh, I have everything. Don't you fret.
Oh yeah, I have it.
It's just lower level. Oh, I have my warlock.
Yeah, you have your warlock.
That's at level 50.
We were playing the other night, and it was like, I'm like, okay, I'm hopping on to like change everybody's skills.
I'm
like,
not leaving.
This is my job now. Like, I'm like, because we did one thing together, and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving the group. I'm not at we can still keep talking. I'm just gonna go change all of my other skills, and then I ended up deleting like 3 characters and making new ones. And I'm like, yeah, start at 1 again.
Yeah, my low levels are not gonna have that issue. It was only the 110 and 50 that I was concerned about. All the skills changing.
Yeah, the lower levels, like, it was really easy because all of a sudden you only have 2 talents that you really have to choose through, and then the other spells you kind of just like, oh, okay, I'll add these as I go. But yeah, once you hit level 60 though, like once you get up there, those talents and the spells, like learning the new rotations and all of that stuff.
That was the 110. I figured out a rotation.
And me too. Like my hunter, I'm down with now.
Yeah.
My druid will be interesting.
I know. I gotta figure out my healing rotation.
We kind of jumped into the post credit.
We did. So either way, let's go to the post.
Let's go to the post credit.
Kind of jumped in.
No break. Post credit. No.
So we will see you guys in about 5 minutes time while we discombobulate and recombobulate things. Switch some text and some other features on the streaming services and all that stuff. Get ourselves some water, pee breaks, all that kind of stuff. Either way, thanks for watching. You can check us out at barrelrollnews.com for all of our links to all of our various places where we stream, plus social media, and all that jazz. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the post-credit show.
Bye.
Woo!